a move that takes some courage.
And if you can get a top 4 player and Leonard, you go out and do it.
Maybe San Antonio didn't want a bunch of young players and picks. Maybe it was a decision to stay competitive in the West.
With DeMar coming to San Antonio, we're thrilled to have him here.
All right, we'll hear from DeMar DeRozan in a second, his one-on-one with Chris Haynes. But first, here's what DeRozan can bring to the Spurs. Without Kawhi for much of last year, Spurs had no go-to guy late in the clock. They turned to Danny Green. Per second spectrum, the Spurs averaged just 0.46 points per play on Green ISOs with less than 5 seconds on the shot clock, more of a spot-up 3 guy. The Raptors averaged 0.81 points per play, almost double, late in the clock when DeRozan ISO. Here's DeRozan, the newest Spur, with our Chris Haynes.
DeMar DeRozan, the newest member of the San Antonio Spurs. Man, what was this past week like for you?
Oh, man, it was a blur. It was a dream. Still kind of feel, like a dream right now. But it's been tough. Had this roller coaster up and down, just trying to get acclimated to, changing teams.
How do you feel you were treated, particularly by Masai Ujiri?
I felt like I wasn't treated with what I sacrificed for 9 years, with the respect that I thought I deserved, by just giving me the say-so of letting me know something's going on, or it's a chance. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. I'm not saying you don't have to train me, or you just let me know something going on, because I sacrificed everything. Just let me know. You know what I mean? And that's all I ask. You know what I mean? Everybody know I'm the most low-maintenance person in the world. Just let me know so I can prepare myself for whatever my next chapter is. And I didn't get that. It seemed like I was in that discussion of moving forward with the team. My whole approach was like every single summer, preparing, going out there, supporting the young guys in the summer league, figuring out ways how I could be better, make my team better. And that was the feeling, and that was the gist of the conversations we had, was moving forward, having the opportunity to do something special all over again. So that was my mindset, and everybody around me mindset as well.
What was your thoughts initially about going over to San Antonio?
I'm still in shock. I'm still in shock. Second person I talked to that night that I'm close friends with is Rudy Gay. I called him. I remember I was upset, and I called him like, man, dude just traded me, man. Like, what? Rudy was like, what? To who? I said, man, to y'all. He started laughing. He said, look, I don't mean to laugh, but I got my boy back, man. That's like, but you gonna be all right, man. Don't worry about it. Everything. And I was like, man, I shouldn't even called you. I should have waited till it came out and you called me. But it was cool just to, be able to call my man, somebody that's close in my life, that's on the Spurs too. So he made it easy.
So what are the Spurs getting in a player of DeMar DeRozan's caliber?
Man, it's a guy that's been proven to prove itself time and time again. And this time around, having the biggest chip on his shoulder ever that I done had in my career, when they carry that over and play for
luck, breathe in so deep. This air is blessed. You share with me. Cavaliers tweeting, we love, at Kevin Love. Love posing with workers. They're renovating the Cavaliers gym. And Kevin Love has signed a 4-year, $120 million extension with the Cavs. He turns 30 in September. They believe he can help keep them at least a little bit competitive, maybe vie for a playoff spot.
He's going to score 30 a game next year.
I'll go 24.9.
Okay. Kept getting calls back and forth with my agent. I said, just really want to get this done, I'm ready, and I wanted to be a part of the future. So it does in a lot of ways feel like my team, but also we're the sum of all of our parts. We got a little bit spoiled with 4 years in a row of the finals, but now we get to build this thing again. And we feel like things are going to head in the right direction, and we're going to be a team that's going to play extremely hard, overachieve, hopefully, and we'll just go out there, throw the ball out, and see what happens.
Well, LeBron supporting his guy, tweeting towards him, secure that money. Congrats, brother. Those are apparently 2 expensive restaurants out there and probably somewhere in the California.
Yeah, nice.
You've probably been there.
I've not been in a restaurant, I've driven by it.
You got that kind of jack.
Nope.
And then Love responds, if it's Nobu Malibu,
It's up by Pepperdine.
haven't seen it, should. Let us make a love connection with Brian Windhorst right now. Brian, when you turn 30 in September, you just don't turn down about $30 million a year for 5 years. But when I ask this question, keep that in mind. Why did Kevin Love sign with Cleveland? Why did Cleveland sign Kevin Love?
Well, a big thing for the Cavs was after LeBron went and signed with the Lakers, Kevin Love came to the team and said, I want to be here. I want to talk about an extension. And for a team that was hurting and a team that really went through some miserable months in 2010-11, that was a horrible season. That was exactly what they wanted to hear. And that really got them interested in wanting to do this deal. Kevin Love could have made more money had he gone ahead and become a free agent next summer and then shopped in a market that would have had a lot of bidders in it. So he kind of gave the Cavs a bit of a discount, as much as you can say that on a $120 million extension. On the other hand, as you mentioned, he's about to turn 30. He has missed over 50 games the last 2 seasons combined. He's had 3 surgeries with the Cavs over the last few years. He's had concussion problems. And he had a team who was desperate to pay a guy to be a foundational piece going forward. So what you had is 2 motivated parties, security, stability, and at least short-term satisfaction. It was a great day in the Cavs organization. Will this be a good contract in 2 years? That's the question we're going to find out.
Let's talk about another Cleveland Cavalier great, Dwayne Wade. Reports that he's going to sign a contract in China. Is this fraudulent or is this legit?
Well, first off, I know it's a 3-year offer. Dwayne Wade is not playing 3 years in China. Dwayne Wade may play part of a year in China. It's for what looks like a lot of money, but after taxes, I mean, he would be the highest paid player in the Chinese Basketball Association, but he could make more money from the Miami Heat if the Miami Heat want to keep him. So I don't think he would do this for the short-term money. But I've talked to a couple of NBA players today, and they say it's not just about the money you're going to earn this year. It's about the money that you can make long-term if the Chinese fans fall in love with you. So that's what Dwayne Wade's got to weigh. Is this something he wants to do that could set him up to earn money and do business in China for the next 25 years? Some people would say, do it. Other people would say, you've already got your shoe over there. You're already a very well-known name. You don't want to go through what it is to play in the Chinese Basketball Association for 6 months. I will say this. Because of the way the season operates, John, he could play a full season in China and still come back and play in the NBA at the end of next season. That could be a route he looks at.
Now that's the answer I was looking for. Brian Windhorst in Los Angeles. Kevin Love played 19 games for the Cavaliers in which LeBron did not suit up for the Cavaliers. In those 19 games, he averaged roughly 19 and 11 on 41% shooting. With LeBron, he shot better because he was open more.
The last of Cleveland's big 3 in and paid. Kevin Love's on a 4-year, $120 million contract extension today, topping out his overall deal at 5 years, $145 million. Love opted out of his current deal to start the new extension and is happy to get paid and stay in Cleveland.
When I got traded here a few years back, we had an idea of what was Cleveland Cavaliers basketball. We got a little bit spoiled with 4 years in a row of the finals, but now we get to build this thing again. So we're definitely excited about who we have moving forward. We know that we're going to add some new pieces, but we feel like things are going to head in the right direction. A very exciting day. I actually didn't know what I was walking into this morning, which was super special, seeing the construction, put on the hard hat. It kind of felt, it felt good to be there with, some real blue-collar workers out there. So that was special to be a part of that.
All right, let's go by the numbers on Love last season. He was much better defensively with LeBron off the court, posting a defensive efficiency of 101.7. Hopefully a sign of things to come for next season without the King. Love has always been proven to be versatile. Last year, it was his best in from behind the arc. He shot 41.5% from 3, the second highest mark in a season in his career. And he was at his best when the Cavs needed him most. Despite playing just 59 games, Love was tied for 4th in the league in clutch time plus minus. Let's welcome in our Brian Windhorst. And Wendy, this deal came as a bit of a surprise. Love signing the deal. You heard him mention that impromptu ceremony arranged by the team in front of employees and construction workers at Quicken Loans Arena. You want to get that? He's, hold on, don't answer that.
I mean, it's all been taken care of. Look, the Cavs loved that as soon as LeBron James left for LA, that Kevin Love came to them and said, hey, I want to sign an extension. If you want to find a way to Dan Gilbert's heart and Dan Gilbert signs the checks, that's a really good way to do it. And so they bestowed on him the largest contract in the history of the organization. They wanted to give it to LeBron. He didn't want it. So Kevin Love is now ready to accept it. And remember, this is a guy who's missed over 50 games the last 2 seasons. He's had 3 surgeries since signing with the Cavs a couple years ago. And he's a guy who's had concussion issues. So they've done a favor for him by giving him security, and he's doing a favor for them by committing to them at this time.
Yeah, I get that. But even though Love is locked up for the foreseeable future, I'm curious, how much do the Cavs truly value him as a foundation player going forward?
Well, they are looking at him to pair him with Colin Sexton. They think that they're going to be a really good match together. They wanted him signed for all of Sexton's rookie contract, which is 4 years, and they think that those 2 guys are going to be their foundation pieces going forward. Now, is that going to be the case? I don't know. I can't see the future, but that's who the Cavs see as is what they want to do going forward. And they believe that Love being a big man who can play pick and roll against alongside a really good point guard is how you build a winner in the NBA, and that's what they're investing in.
Rebuild mode in Cleveland. Brian Windhorst with the latest, all things phone calls here on SportsCenter.
At number 7, NBA news. Free agent Dwayne Wade has been offered a 3-year, $25 million contract to play in China. The deal would make Wade the highest paid player in China, which pays players pretty well. He's 36. Won 3 championships with the Heat, averaged 11.4 points in 67 games for the Cavaliers and the Heat last season. For more on this, let's say hello to Brian Windhorst. Brian, I mean, listen, that's a lot of money, especially considering his age. He can still play, but he's certainly past his prime. How seriously will D. Wade consider this offer?
Well, first off, Sage, he's not playing 3 years, so forget about this. This would just be a 1-year decision. And I've been texting with some players during this afternoon, and they're talking about this. How much money would it take for you to go play in a smaller Chinese city, still larger than most of our cities, not one of the prime cities, fly commercially, deal with a lot of uncomfort? I don't think Dwayne Wade's going to take this offer. I think he's established. I don't think he necessarily needs to, to play in China. However, there are business reasons long term why he's pausing to think about it, and I do think he'll give it serious consideration. He has not turned it down yet.
The business reasons, meaning that apparel company, right, that he signed recently, it's like a lifetime deal, isn't it?
I'll tell you what. Talk to my cohort here at Tracy McGrady, who's popular in China. He makes money every year because of his Chinese popularity. You become popular in China, it's a check for a lifetime.
Wow. We shall see what Dwayne Wade decides to do. Brian Windhorst, thank you.
Brian Windhorst tweeted that out earlier, so the trade's official, but he's going to skip Team USA minicamp. Had Leonard showed up for minicamp, he would have worked under his now former coach, Greg Popovich, who is the head coach for Team USA. You got to think that has something to do with it. I'm sure he'll say otherwise, like, oh, I want to prepare for the season.
The other breaking news, according to our Adrian Wojnarowski, the Thunder are sending Carmelo Anthony to the Atlanta Hawks, and then the Hawks will buy out Melo and allow him to become a free agent. Remember, Carmelo has a no-trade clause. The trade also involves the Thunder sending a lottery-protected 2022 pick to Atlanta for Dennis Schroeder. Last season was Melo's one and only season in OKC, and it was forgettable at best. He averaged 16.2 points per game, the only season in his career in which he averaged fewer than 20 points per. Our Adrian Wojnarowski joins us now. What is next for Carmelo after he is bought out by Atlanta?
Well, the Rockets are the front runner, Nicole, to sign him. He'll be waived. He'll pass through waivers, and he'll be able to sign anywhere he likes. He met with the Rockets and the Miami Heat in Las Vegas last week at Summer League, had permission from the Thunder to do so, but they have not informed any of the teams of a decision yet, but Houston is a strong front runner.
What's the timeline on when this decision could be made next?
Well, once the paperwork is done on the deal, it's filed with the league office. Again, it'd be a 48-hour waiver process, which he'll pass through, and then, after that, he'll be able to formally commit, but it will be in the near future. And Houston is enthusiastic about their chances to pair him with his close friend Chris Paul and obviously James Harden.
Of course, this all starts with the agreement between the Thunder and Atlanta to make this trade. Why does it work for both teams?
Well, especially for Oklahoma City. Dennis Schroeder, to get a starting level NBA point guard, 24 years old, to play, behind Russell Westbrook and at times with Russell Westbrook. They were going to essentially waive and stretch Melo's contract. That would have saved them over $100 million. The way they're doing this, they're still going to save over $75 million, but they get an asset now who can play with them this year. He's got 3 years left on his deal. He's a tradable asset in the future. But Billy Donovan, Sam Presti in Oklahoma City, they want to get faster, quicker, and they've done that with Schroeder. Tremendous opportunity for them to improve their roster. And now at Atlanta, with the arrival of Trey Burke and Jeremy Lin, Trey Young from Oklahoma, the 5th overall pick in the draft, this will become Trey Young's team very quickly.
All right, Woj, thank you so much. Coming up, one is the past, the other is the future.